Welcome to Pack It Like It's Hot, the official podcast from MJS Packaging, where we dive into real-world packaging insights with the people who know it best, our team, our partners, and other industry pros. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pack It Like It's Hot. This is Cindy Vogel, and I'm joined here again today with my co-host, Greg Clark. How you doing today, Greg?
Hey, good morning, Cindy. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Happy to hear.
Yeah, today we welcome a familiar face from our organization, Senior Vice President Ken Goldberg. Ken has extensive experience in the packaging industry, and he's always had a special focus on the regulations and intricacies of the pharmaceutical market. So we're looking forward to hearing his insights today. Welcome, Ken.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Hi, Ken.
We're glad to have you. Very glad to have you. Greg, you want to kick us off and we'll dive right in?
Why not? Let's do it. Ken, tell
Yes,
you are a pharmaceutical packaging expert. It's something you've been passionate, boy, that's a mouthful, passionate packaging pharmaceutical expert. You've been passionate about that category for a long, long time. What drew you to that market?
Honestly, it started out when I moved to Baltimore like 35 years ago, and I inherited a house account that was, at the time, the largest liquid pharmaceutical generic manufacturer in the country. So they were the equivalent of a Perrigo in dry solid dose for liquids. And I inherited that account, and I just worked with them.
You fell in love.
I mean, it was easy. I was kind of a big fish, small pond thing. I came out of the New York market. I had been doing a lot of different packaging for different industries, dabbled a little bit in healthcare stuff, but this account really needed a lot of attention. And it was, back in the late 90s, I should say the early 90s, when regulations were really starting to take hold and people were getting in trouble for skirting issues.
Oh, okay.
Wow, yeah. Interesting.
That is cool. That is cool. So what makes pharmaceutical packaging fundamentally different than other packaging for other industries, I should say?
Sure, that's a great question. And, the primary answer to that is the package itself becomes integral to the product being marketed. Mm-hmm. So whereas, in different markets, you need a pump to dispense shampoo and so forth, in pharmaceutical packaging, it really matters what the components of that pump would be or what the components of that bottle would be. And I'm talking all the way down to the molecular level, the resins, the colorants, and so forth. So it's really important to distinguish that pharmaceutical packaging requires a different level of attention to detail with regards to the materials that are being used.
Okay.
Where's the industry heading in terms of packaging format, right? Blister packs, vials, syringes that are pre-filled, something else.
Right.
Where are we going?
Well, that's it. Those are the primary directories for where packaging is going, and it all is based on compliance packaging. So patient compliance is a big deal. The less we put in the hands of the consumer to make decisions as to how to administer the drug that they're supposed to take, the better it is for all parties. So blister packs are an easy 1 or 2 dose, depending upon how it's prescribed. Pre-filled syringes, the same sort of thing. So compliance packaging is really the direction that we're headed.
Compliance packaging to make it dummy-proof,
I was just going to say, it's almost like the dumbing down, so I can't incorrectly administer a drug to myself.
It's really more, I think, geared towards the seniors. So we have such an incredible population expansion in that aged category. Mm-hmm. And the confusion that may lie with, did I take my pill today? Or am I supposed to take 1 or 2? The compliance packaging initiative is really more so to take that question away. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's Tuesday. Yes, I took my pill. It was the morning pill. I have it packaged for my Wednesday morning pill next. I know today's Tuesday. right? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that could extend to so many groups. I understand what you're saying about seniors, but I mean, think about somebody who's administering to a child who's sick too. I mean, you might be up all night. You might be trying to get through a difficult time. You're still just confused about that and maybe having some uncertainty about what if I give my kid the wrong thing, right? So I think that dummy proofing helps all of us, so to speak, But, okay, so obviously, packaging plays a huge role in patient safety, right? And that also is about combating counterfeit drugs. Has that become an even bigger issue? And then how do requirements like tamper evidence, child resistance packaging, how does that all shape the design?
So two really divergent issues there that you're bringing up. So I'll start with the child resistance stuff. That's easy. It's still very much, a requirement for certain types of drugs. The CPSC is the governing body that identifies products that need to have protections against either consumption by the wrong, age group or whatnot, just to keep that poison prevention from occurring when a kid gets into a bottle that they're not supposed to get to. So child-resistant packaging will remain important forever.
Sure.
Right? Tamper evidency, nobody wants to have their products tampered with. There's a lot of active and passive opportunities for packaging components, whether they're safety seals, tamper-evident beads that are, getting shrink seals on the outside or tearaway bands on closures and stuff like that. Those are all really visually oriented to keeping the tamper piece away. But when we're talking about counterfeit drugs, that's a whole different ballgame, and it's very, very difficult to keep that from hitting the market. If somebody wants to counterfeit a drug and start marketing it out there and try to sell it, the safeguards around that are quite difficult and very expensive. So some of them involve RFID codes and specialty type packaging so that pharmacies and drugstores of the like can't accept products that aren't properly coded in from the place that they're supposed to be buying them from. There's no more like off the truck kind of deals being made.
I hope there were never off the truck deals being made, but okay.
In the 90s there were, I'll tell you, and that's how a lot of these people got in trouble.
Before we continue, we want to thank you for listening. Each month, you have a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card and a Pack It Like It's Hot podcast logo coffee mug for our podcast giveaway. During this episode, we've shared a designated keyword. This month's keyword is compliance packaging. Again, that's compliance packaging. You can submit that keyword on our website through the podcast giveaway page, mjspackaging.com/podcast-giveaway for a chance to win. We'll select one eligible entry at random at the end of the contest period. See the official rules on our website as well. Now, let's get back to the conversation. Is RFID becoming more and more common then? Or are like how you see retailers demanding that, or pharmacies demanding that?
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay.
But, on the bulk side, it's very possible. And we don't do a lot of bulk packaging, right? So
sure.
we're selling more consumer level packaging, point of sale, one-time use bottles, closures, pumps, and so forth. But bulk, to these massive pharmacies, I would imagine that there are certain safeguards that are in place that I'm unfamiliar with.
It is interesting when you talk about the bigger pharmacies, because I feel like in our area, at least, all the little independent pharmacies have really popped up, right? And so you kind of wonder how they factor in with all of this too. And I would tend to think there's still a level of sophistication, but is it as sophisticated as a mass chain pharmacy?
Right. I don't think so. I mean, they're typically buying from third-party wholesalers.
So the trucks are still pulling up there. Not just teasing.
Kind of. Yeah.
Interesting.
So Ken, let's imagine you're at a dinner party and you're going around the table talking about the industry that you're in, and you throw out there that you're in packaging with a focus on the pharmaceutical side, and somebody scoffs at you, suggesting how difficult can that be? How would you illustrate to that naysayer the complexity of pharmaceutical packaging?
So a lot of people just take packaging in general for granted. They don't think about all of the elements that are involved in the engineering around a container or a closure, or developing a system around these two parts that need to work together. So oftentimes when it comes to pharma packaging in particular, people again forget that I've got to make sure that I'm delivering a package that is consistent from the very first time I sold you a package to the 100 millionth time I sold you the package. And I can't divert from the materials that were used or the compliance that was performed by your end, because there's a lot of testing involved. And so as soon as a resin company says, oh, I'm changing this antioxidant package, or oops, this colorant is now being loaded at a different rate, or I'm going from a pellet to a liquid, everybody's got to stop. And we have to do all that evaluative testing all over again. And the FDA has to get involved. So there is still federal government oversight to the packaging that is being used to deliver drugs into the market.
So even a minute change will require a whole new set of regulations and testing and government involvement?
Typically so, yes.
Wow. So it's cumbersome. There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. I mean, there are different regulations for different types of components, whether they're dry oral dose or liquid dose packaging. These have different regs, and that's where it becomes really important that the companies that are buying these products are very aware of what those requirements are, and they need to have regulatory oversight involved with regards to the packaging choices that they're making.
Oh, fascinating. Keeps you busy.
Yeah. So same difference.
You need to have a lot. Yeah, I'm just going to say you need to have a lot of different relationships inside the organizations that are producing these pharmaceutical products, because you need to be able to speak to the regulatory folks. You need to speak to the compliance auditors. You need to speak to the planners and the schedulers. All parties need to be involved in the decisions around packaging.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, good stuff.
Mm-hmm. So same dinner party. Some guest overheard what you were saying about the complexities and said, you know what, I'm actually in the startup phase with my pharmaceutical company. What's some advice you could give me about the best way to get started? This is some dinner party you're at, by the way.
Yeah, right. This is
that is a great dinner party. It sounds like it's happening in D.C. and so it's probably close to me down there. Yeah. I guess the couple of things that I would say is be prepared for the long haul. There's no such thing as you have it on the floor. Is it stock available? Because I need it tomorrow and I need to start filling. It doesn't work like that, right? So there's a lot of testing that's involved. You better have a good regulatory compliance person on board, someone that knows, good manufacturing practices, that understands the drug master file process, that understands, that the FDA has oversight. And you're going to be filing all kinds of different documents related to your product and my product, that part that's going to interact with your product, so that we're sure that all the testing has been done and everything is clean. No issues, no extractables, no leachables. Nothing is coming out of my package into your product that might change the efficacy of the drug that you're looking to put into the market.
That's great.
It's great.
That's
amazing.
Great. It is. Ken, you've always really exemplified what we are talking about when it comes to consultative excellence when you talk about the pharmaceutical packaging industry. So thank you very much. I know over the years I've learned pretty much everything I know about that industry from you. So I do appreciate that. A lot of painful things looking at drawings and things like that over the years, but that's all right. I've learned a lot. But thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ken. We really do.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you.
Excellent. Have a good one.
Thanks for listening to our MJS podcast. Make sure to follow and listen on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. Tune in next month when we will be joined by another packaging expert. And remember, packaging solutions are just a click away at mjspackaging.com.